back to the show. There is no better example of the structural barriers keeping Democrats out of office than one of Tuesday's most watched races. Stacey Abrams, former leader of the Georgia State House, versus potential boyfriend murderer Brian Kemp to be the next governor of Georgia. As of right now, the race still hasn't been called, which is huge because Abrams had all the cards stacked against her. And I'm not just talking about the fact that she was running against the incumbent party, or that she was running to become the first black female governor, or that she was in a southern state, or that her opponent accused her and her party of being an elite team of hackers like 2 days before the election. Actually, wait, I am talking about those. Those are more than enough. But as it happens, there's a shit ton more she was up against, including a horrifically racist robocall by an outside group. This is legitimately very upsetting, and it isn't like when I tell you something is going to be upsetting and then I show you a picture of Ted Cruz. This is actually awful.
This is the magical Negro, Oprah Winfrey, asking you to make my fellow negress, Stacey Abrams, the governor of Georgia.
That is how it starts. It actually gets much worse from there. The robocall was made by an anti-Semitic podcasting company, which would be the dumbest sequence of words if it weren't so sad. Brian Kemp did disavow that call, probably because he didn't want it to distract from his own racism. He tweeted that the Black Panther Party is backing Stacey Abrams, which was a lie. I don't know, maybe he just panicked when he saw the movie Black Panther for sale at Target and lashed out. Kemp is best known for his concerted disenfranchisement efforts in Georgia, but another way that he's suppressing the vote is by just being really bad at things. Many Georgia polling places were absolute chaos yesterday. Kemp was so eager to block yesterday's votes, he nearly disenfranchised himself.
Brian Kemp and his family arrived a little after 2 in Winterville, Georgia, to cast their vote in the midterm election. But during the process, Kemp had a problem. Turns out his voting card was invalid.
Wow! Wow! He's the DJ Khaled of state officials. He played himself, and he definitely doesn't eat pussy. Stacey Abrams knew what she was up against, which is why she founded the New Georgia Project to register minority voters 5 years before she ran for governor. That's some impressive foresight. I can't even remember to feed my cat. He has to cook for himself. Stacey Abrams was also a fundraising dynamo and had a killer ground game, and she had Oprah. The real Oprah. What else could she possibly have done? Honestly, when her opponent was running the election, nothing. Think of it like this. The Republicans are running a 100-meter dash, while the Democrats are running the 100-meter hurdles. Sure, both races are technically 100 meters, but voter suppression, gerrymandering, and stacked courts are some serious things to overcome. And Republicans spent years setting those hurdles up. So Democrats have to work extra hard to cross the same finish line. It's a good metaphor, but don't think about it too hard or you'll start picturing Chuck Schumer in running shorts. Oh my God, no! There it is, go away from my brain. Stacey Abrams is amazing, but the Georgia election is a disgrace. And it wasn't just Georgia. This happened across the nation. You know, typically, win or lose, after Election Day, people forget about the shenanigans that happened during the campaign and move on. Well, fuck that. This midterm season was fucking out of control. And people did what should have been some truly career-ending things. Which brings me to a little segment we like to call Bullshit We Won't Forget.
Brian Kemp accused Democrats of hacking. Ron DeSantis said, don't monkey this up by voting for his African-American opponent. Sonny Perdue called the Florida governor race so cotton-picking important. The GOP called an African-American Rhodes Scholar a big city rapper in all their ads. Duncan Hunter called his Palestinian-American opponent a terrorist. Trump suggested Democrats finance the migrant caravan. Ron Paul tweeted a racist and anti-Semitic cartoon. Trump sent troops to the border to protect us from scary refugees. Trump threatened to shoot refugees. Steve King went on a vacation to meet Nazis. Plus, everything else Steve King does always. Chuck Grassley endorsed Steve King. The GOP targeted several Jewish candidates with anti-Semitic ads featuring stacks of cash. And Donald Trump said, I'm a nationalist, in front of people. Now that's what I call bullshit we won't forget.
We also legally had to put a Three Doors Down song at the end of the album. So tomorrow, when all these start their post-election calls for unity, just know that we won't forget what you did during this election. You will run for something else one day, and I will be there to remind you that your president once complained that a hate crime made him have a bad hair day. Apparently, that day was the first time Donald Trump ever looked into a mirror. We'll be right back.